Hello everyone, this is Suman. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to discuss about Adobe Commerce Integration Starter Kit. In this channel, we talk about Adobe Commerce App Builder and new technologies. If you still not subscribed to my channel, I request you to revisit my channel and subscribe. In this video, we are going to deep dive into what is Adobe Commerce Integration Starter Kit, the advantage of using this starter kit, the basic of the installation process, essential configuration steps, and how to handle different situations effectively during integration. So let's understand what is Adobe Commerce Integration Starter Kit. So Integration Starter Kit is a pre-configured development framework or a app builder app designed to help developers to integrate Adobe Commerce with the Adobe App Builder. It provides sample code, templates, best practices to accelerate integration effort and reduce setup time and enable fast deployment of custom solution. So Starter Kit provides lot of sample codes, templates and pre-built actions which you can repurpose and reutilize and build your custom integration on top of that. So the basic advantage you will get out of Starter Kit is that it will simplify and accelerate the development of custom integration with the Adobe Commerce using App Builder. Starter Kit provides bidirectional communication between Adobe Commerce and the external system. So the Starter Kit App Builder app can consume data from the Adobe Commerce, and also it can publish the data to the external system, and similarly it can consume the data from the external system and publish to the Adobe Commerce. So the data communication or data movement is bidirectional, and the Starter Kit app provides the boilerplate. So based on your external ERP or external system and Adobe Commerce business requirement, you are free to modify the boilerplate business logic and implement the customized solution. If you see this diagram, in the left hand side we have the Adobe Commerce, right hand side we have the external system like ERP or OMS, and in between we have the App Builder app based on the Starter Kit. So the Starter Kit app is building the bridge between the Adobe Commerce and the external system. So it can consume the data from the Adobe Commerce, publish to the external system. Similarly, it can consume the external system data and publish back to the Adobe Commerce. So you can replace Starter Kit with a standard App Builder app. In that case, what you have to do is that you have to build all the logic for consuming the data and publishing the data to the external system. What Starter Kit provides is that it provides all the basic boilerplate code and the pre-built logics, pre-built classes, pre-built actions, which has already having a integration with the Adobe Commerce, which can consume the data from the Adobe Commerce and publish to the external system. Let's take a look at the key advantage of using Adobe Commerce Integration Starter Kit. First, it speeds up your development process with pre-built code and templates and configuration, so you do not have to start from the scratch. Second, it comes packed with ready-to-use components like actions, configuration file, event handler, and so many things. Next, it follows Adobe's best practice, ensure your code is clean and secure and scalable. It also makes maintenance and scaling easier thanks to well-organized structure. For new developers, it's a great way to learn Adobe's extendability framework through the hands-on experience. And finally, it boosts team productivity by standardizing workflows and making collaboration more effective. Let's understand how we can integrate Adobe Commerce Integration Starter Kit with the Adobe Commerce. So Integration Starter Kit is a app builder app with enhanced features. So the installation and the configuration of the Starter Kit would be similar like a standard App Builder app, but with additional steps. So first thing, in the developer console we have to log in and we have to create a project. After creating the project, we have to add 3 services called IO Management API, IO Events for Adobe Commerce. Once that has been done, we should download the workspace JSON file by going to the workspace and clicking on the download all button. Once that has been done, keep this file as a reference. We need this file in the later stage. After that, we log into the Adobe Commerce admin panel and create a integration token. So once the integration token has been created, we should note down the consumer key and consumer secret, access token, and access token secret. So once that has been done, the next step would be downloading the starter kit in the local instance, and there would be a file called env.dst. We have to rename the file. So once this file has been renamed, we have to configure a bunch of configuration in this .env file. So there are auth related credentials that you can find inside your workspace OAuth server to server. Next thing, what you have to do, you have to configure the base URL of the Adobe Commerce and the consumer key, secret key, access token, and access token secret that you have created during the integration token creation. After doing that, there are another 3 things you have to configure, which is the Adobe IO event merchant ID. So this one you have to copy it from your admin panel, Magento admin panel. After that, you have the consumer ID, project ID, and workspace. So these things you can find in the workspace workspace.json that you have downloaded previously. And after doing that, you save this file. After doing this, after updating the .env file, the next step would be running the npm install to download the node packages. After that, you log into the CLI and then select org, select project, and select workspace. After that, you run AIO app use and select the project that you have created in the developer console. After that, you run a AIO app deploy, so which will basically deploy your app builder app to the Adobe IO runtime, and this will basically create all the actions. And if you log into the developer console and go to runtime, you should able to see all the actions are getting created. Next thing would be execute the onboard command. So you run npm run onboard, which will basically register the consumer. So we have 2 consumer, one is the commerce consumer, another is the back office consumer. If you don't want back office consumer, you can remove back office from this array. And even if you want specific integration, like if you want only order need to be published from the commerce to the app builder, you can keep only commerce, and other entries you can remove from the list. Once you run npm run onboard, once this command will give you a successful response like this, and once that has been done, you should able to see the events in your developer console. After doing that, you have to configure the Adobe Commerce instance so that Adobe Commerce knows that which app builder app or which app builder it should connect. So you have to, after this, you have to configure the Adobe Commerce. You have to go to the store, you have to log into the admin interface and go to store settings, configuration, Adobe service, Adobe IO events, and general configuration, and there you have to configure the workspace configuration. This is the here you have to put the entire workspace.json file content. You have to provide a unique instance ID, you have to create a event provider, and you have to provide a unique event provider ID and save the configuration. And once that has been done, you should able to see a event provider ID has been auto generated. After doing this, you should enable the commerce eventing. You will get that thing in the same store configuration page, and basically you have to enable the commerce eventing and provide a unique merchant ID and environment. You have to provide a after doing this, you have to enable the commerce eventing, and you have to enable the commerce eventing and provide a unique merchant ID and environment ID and save the store configuration. So the next step would be subscribing the events. So for that, you have to run a command called npm run commerce event subscriber. So if you're trying to connect your local Adobe Commerce instance with the app builder, this command will not going to work, because app builder will not going to connect to your local Adobe Commerce instance. But if your Adobe Commerce is a cloud instance or it is a public IP, this command should successfully work. And for your local Adobe Commerce instance, you have to manually subscribe the events using the event subscribe command, which will basically manually subscribe or register the events when Adobe Commerce should publish the data to the Adobe IO runtime. After doing this, you should come to the Adobe Commerce instance and run the command called events registration list, and you should able to see all your events right now has been registered to your app builder. So now we are ready to publish. Your Adobe Commerce instance is connected with the starter kit, and it will able to publish the data from the Adobe Commerce to the app builder. That's all in this video. In this video you have seen what is Adobe Commerce integration starter kit, how to configure, and what is the advantage of using integration starter kit. Hope you like this video, and if you have any queries, any doubts, feel free to reach out. Thank you.